Hi, I get asked a lot about what's the job market like from candidates who are presently dipping their toe in the water. So let me just give you a little update of what I'm seeing and hearing. So obviously we're all watching the news and we're hearing about quiet quitting, quiet firing, those kinds of things. Let me just tell you a little bit about what I've seen. So for sure there's a problem in the retail industry. We all have probably waited too long for an order, waited too long online. So for sure, those entry-level jobs are not being filled as quickly. So we're feeling it as consumers. That doesn't necessarily mean it's that way everywhere, but that's where you feel the job market is there's a lot of demand for employees in those entry-level jobs and less of them doing those jobs or doing less hours. So that's where you're going to feel it. The second thing that I'm finding is yes, there are more jobs than candidates, but that doesn't mean that clients are changing or completely eliminating their criteria for hiring. What I've seen people doing is they're hiring faster. They're hiring well in advance of when they're going to need the employee as well. So I have someone who is trying to fill a job for someone retiring in 9 months' time. So they're giving themselves enough time to hire the person, and they're not waiting for the person to retire to hire that person. So they're willing to have two people on staff at the same time doing the same job, training, to ensure that they find the right candidate and they're not left with an employee retiring and then not having a backfill. So that's one way that I've seen people do it. I've also seen the interview process shortened, not less number of interviews, but maybe regrouping more people. So what does that mean to you? So as the person looking for a job, you may find yourself in a panel interview. You may find yourself with 2 or 3 people interviewing you as opposed to 4 steps, maybe 3 steps or 2 steps, but more people. So that's how that changes for you and how you can prepare yourself for that. Are you comfortable in an environment where you're going to be interviewed by more than one person? Some people are quite intimidated by that. Some hiring managers are maybe taking off some criteria. Example, I'm going to favor work experience versus a university degree. I'm not saying I don't want to have some, I prefer to have a university degree, but the absence of that, I will take into consideration the work experience. So maybe that's how that's changed. Also, the good people have finding themselves with more than one opportunity in front of them. So hiring managers know that. So you might find that they put their best foot forward right away rather than doing that back and forth for hiring. Those are just some of the ways. I'm sure there are other ways that you're seeing, but it doesn't mean that it's easier to get a job. It just means that good people do have more choices. And I'm still really surprised by candidates that have incomplete resumes, incomplete LinkedIn profiles, or at the very very rude. I spoke to someone yesterday, and in my mind I'm thinking to myself, do I take him on this rudeness? No time. Forget him. Move to the next. So those, being courteous and respecting other people's time, the employer respecting your time, those things are important. It goes a two-way street. So in this market, keep everything take into consideration. Yes, there are jobs. Yes, it's more of a candidate market, but don't forget the very, very basic things that help you stand out amongst your competition. I'm Dawn Williams. I can reach on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Happy selling.